Welcome to Two Guys.
A girl.
And an MBA.
Why did the dollar depreciate after the US did tariffs? Because in finance theory, when, you put a tax on imports with tariffs, you should see the currency appreciate because you're restricting, imports from coming in. So then the value of the dollar should rise. But what you saw in reality contradicted the textbooks, contradicted the theory. And, GPT had a number of reasons for that, mostly due to the great outflows of capital in the equity markets. It was mostly like institutions were rebalancing portfolios, people were selling stocks like crazy, and then there was also one that stood out, a crisis of confidence. And I think those together outweighed, the theoretical change in the, what should have been a currency appreciation. You saw weakening of the dollar. You saw all these bonds and stocks getting sold off. When you have that much pressure of trillions of dollars of selling, that's actually going to devalue the currency. And that's what we're seeing. Ironically, that in a roundabout way that I don't think Trump planned, that's going to actually stimulate what he wanted, which was to bring manufacturing home, because when the dollar is weaker, you'll see, imports lower and exports rise, which is his whole theme: make America great again, make us a manufacturing hub again. That might happen now because the dollar's weaker, so people abroad are going to be demanding more American-produced goods because they can buy U.S. goods because dollars are cheaper now. So I don't think he planned it that way. I asked GPT, was this like a off the backboard, like sideways shot? And it said, yeah, pretty much. This was a mistake. It ended up that way, but it seems like in a roundabout way, he might get done what he said. We'll see.
I think yeah, please go ahead.
No, let me go.
I can say that it's just a small window of this opportunity. Dollar will back and became straight again. So just who have money, who has a budget, they can buy much more, and then just it's back.
So you think this is like a good outcome to offset the bad outcome? So the net effect is this is his tariff policy is a good move, accidentally or not?
I'm not going to say it's good or bad. I'm saying the intended effect was to make America great again and make America a manufacturing hub. And, any economist will tell you like restricting imports is a dumb way to do it, which is why he took so much heat, because that's going to appreciate the dollar. It's the idea he had didn't work out the way he thought it was going to work out, but it's working out this other different way that might actually lead to more demand abroad for U.S. products, like in a roundabout way, by accident, basically. Now, whether it's good or bad and whether it actually happens, that's just, we're projecting here. We're guessing, we're forecasting. We don't know. Things might change. Like Elena said, the dollar might come back. But right now we're seeing the dollar weaken against many currencies, and that is contrary to the textbook definition in theory. What should happen?
What does America have to export? They're a net importer because they don't have enough supply to satisfy their domestic market. So they have to import stuff. They even import oil from Canada, even though they're a oil producer. So I don't know if you read last week or yesterday, Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary, sat in a boardroom. He's a billionaire, by the way. And he said, we're going to promise Americans lifetime work in factories, generational work in factories. And you're listening to that from the billionaire, and you're kind of like, well, that's a kind of pessimistic outlook. We're going to keep them back in the factories for generations. Like, why would you say that? Like, it's not a very empowering thing to tell a bunch of people that you're kind of like your representative for. And, listen, my job is to give you factory work and putting in little screws or whatever he says. I think that's odd. And I don't know what America has to export that they can't consume themselves. So if you're going to export with a lower dollar, which is, like you're saying, a positive effect, what is it that you're going to export? I don't know. I don't know what America exports. I mean, I know some agriculture. I don't know.
I think the idea is to bring manufacturing back to America. As unrealistic as it seems, I think he's pandering to the base with what you're saying. People want to hear that. They want to hear that the factory jobs are coming back, when the reality is the factory jobs are never coming back. automation is here to stay. When a robot can do
Oh, that's what he said. That's actually what he said. He said, we'll get them in the factory repairing the robots for generations.
Right?
He said that. I'm like, wow, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you
I'm
have
very excited.
what makes you think the robots won't be repairing the robots, right? So,
Oh, well, I don't know if that leap of logic makes. Yeah, of course. Oh, my goodness. Oh, Howard Lutnick. I don't know.
but I think there is a segment of people that really believes like steel manufacturing is coming back to the Rust Belt, to Pennsylvania and Ohio. Car manufacturing is coming back to Detroit. Textile manufacturing is coming back to the American South. And like, it's not happening when you have people, in, let's say, Bangladesh or India that can spin the cotton at like a tenth or less of the fraction of what it costs to pay a U.S. labor. It's not happening. When you have the metals and minerals and things that cars assembled abroad and imported, it's just not feasible. Not feasible. Like even with import taxes, people still going to be buying foreign cars. I guarantee it.
Well,
Because the U.S. cars suck because they break down. So do you want to buy a Ford? I don't even want to rent a Ford. No offense. I don't even want to look at Ford. I don't want to even look at Ford stock. I give it a F. F, baby. F.
yeah, it's interesting. I've never owned a American car. It's always been a Japanese, now German. Like I don't, because you Google it, right? Like what's the best car for like reliability, and it'll just tell you. It's just like, oh well, the Chevy Malibu I rented it once, nice car, but I don't think I'd buy a Chevy. They still make the Chevy Malibu? I don't even know. And what's funny about the whole thing about cars again is that I know you had this Deming Award. I don't know if you remember this thing. He's an American, not economist but business owner, and he had this thing about excellence in your production line. But the Japanese adopted it. They even have something called a Deming Award, where it's all about. That's why the cars are so efficient, right? Because they studied this thing. Deming went over there, showed them how to do it, like retooling, and every millimeter counts, and then they just use that to advantage, and they build better cars. But it was an American that inspired that. So that's a sidebar.
Yeah, the Japanese definitely took that lean manufacturing idea from the U.S. and took the IP and ran with it and made it better, made it more efficient. Similar to what China's doing now with AI and
Wait a
tech.
minute, I think that it's Toyota invented the lean manufacturing and then it was spread to the world.
Is that?
Yeah, it wasn't Toyota. This idea in US it was Ford about conveyor thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but about lean methodology.
Okay, yeah, lean.
It's like was real implemented in Toyota factory, and now it's spread in all management schools. In IT, I could say we use the lean. It's one of our tool. Like we should be lean, effectiveness, efficiency, but it was inspired by Toyota.
Okay.
Many years ago. Yeah,
I was using the term more loosely. I was just saying, like, they took a technology that was invented in America, the assembly line and efficiency.
Yeah, but they make it effective.
They optimized it. Yeah, they
optimize it.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think it's like a game from both sides. They started, they improved. Back to the US think, okay, we can do it better with some other technologies and materials, and back again to the Japan. So it's like always the balance.
I compare it to what's happening now with AI in China. They're competing. It's like this is a technology kind of developed and grown up and innovated in Silicon Valley in America, and now you're seeing Chinese companies optimizing it. Yeah,
this has happened. But it's fair. Yeah,
Toyota did lead it, but it was inspired by the American William Deming.
A Deming cycle, yes, but it's basics. It's basics like a plan, run, see results, improve, and it's.
Yeah.
This is it. But it's fair. It's good that we have this different opinion, different ideas, even the same ideas at the same time appeared. We know in the scientists, it's like happened. It's good. And now we can share this idea between.
Depends on your perspective. If you're an NVIDIA shareholder, it's not good. If you're holding Chinese companies, let's innovate. Let's do it. You know what I mean? Like it.
Yeah, and NVIDIA Huawei just announced that they have a processing chip that can compete with NVIDIA. And that was what the challenge is all the time. The Chinese, I don't think can originate things, but they could take it and I guess, repurpose it, adapt it, and make it better. But they're using always a template, I think, from Western companies. I think so, right? Every iteration of a a Chinese company has been, or its origin has either been in the United States or elsewhere, right? A lot of their patents, even with Huawei, they bought it from a company in Canada called Northern Telecom, which was the leader in telephones. This is like 20, 30 years ago, but they went defunct because Canada can't figure out how to keep its great companies like BlackBerry in business. And Huawei just bought all the IP. And then from there, they launched their cell phone business, and now they're competing, for chips against NVIDIA. So that's their business model. Knock it off, make it better.
It works.
It works.
It works.
Look, they got money. They got companies.
We
It's
use
really
it. Customers use it. So
right.
happy customers.
Happy
business.
customers.
Please consider subscribing below.
Thank you for being with us. Please leave your comments, feedback, what you think about us, and see you in the next podcast. Bye.